The Philippines has the highest jail occupancy rate in the world, exacerbated by the Duterte government's war on drugs, in which hundreds of thousands of people have been jailed since July 2016. In relation to that, the system suffers from problems related to fragmentation, overcrowding, and effective system of operation. So, as we identify problems and challenges in this aspect, may we also be able to identify opportunities to remedy these challenges and improve the system of restoring the offenders.
Hi everyone, I am Camille Mabili. One of the issues faced of our jail and prison management in the Philippines is the severe overcrowding. There is a severe overcrowding problems in many jails throughout the Philippines, and thus a direct result of increased policing arrests of suspected drug users and other criminals. The lack of space frequently forces detainees to sleep while sitting or even standing. Bedding is so inadequate that many inmates sleep on discarded cardboard boxes or attach makeshift hammocks from ceiling. And due to the said issue, our detainees also experiencing poor ventilation and absence of the natural light. Another issue is corruption. We all know that corruption drives poverty, so many people are imprisoned for committing wrongdoing or crime. Some of those whose position in the government, they steal people's money instead of using it to good things like building additional jails to prevent overcrowding.
The Duterte administration's war on drugs brought a rapid increase in the number of people held in detention and prison facilities. As prison system deals with unending issues in their operation, it became also a concern to deal with high prevalence of communicable diseases such as tuberculosis and HIV, and non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension, and even mental disorders such as depression and trauma, which affects the prisoner. And the poor health system inside the jails and prison make the situation even worse, especially we are dealing with the pandemic or the coronavirus pandemic. The problems of overcrowding and the impact of pandemic was heavily felt by prisoners in the majority of jails in the Philippines.
One of the problems faced by our prison here in the Philippines is high death tolls. It is suggested that we don't have to impose death penalty because it is already 20% or 5,000 inmates die each year because of infectious disease. Overcrowded cells help the disease to get easily spread among inmates. Another one is the war on drug. Before Duterte's victory, our prison here in the Philippines is already crowded. The problem on Duterte's war on drugs started. It is estimated that 125,000 drug users and dealers have surrendered to authorities because of fear. This problem worsened the situation of inmates in Philippine jail. The problem in sanitation and health problems, including tuberculosis, becomes rampant and exists among inmates.
Prison gangs are criminal groups that began in the criminal justice system. They are also self-sustaining criminal organizations that can operate outside of the criminal justice system. It is typically made up of a small group of inmates who are organized into a hierarchy and follow a strict code of behavior. In the Philippine New Bilibid prison gangs, the gangs named from largest to smallest are Sige Sige Sputnik, Genuine Ilocano Gang, Batang City Jail, Sigo Sigo Commandos, Happy Go Lucky, Batang Cebu 45, Batang Mananalo, Bahala na Gang, Batang Samar Leyte, Batang Mindanao, and Cuerna. Because of the negative aspects of gang life, including gangs, ensured governance responsibilities should be approached with caution. However, in situations where overcrowding is common and resources are limited, such as in Philippine prisons, the gang system in shared governance provides important features that may provide clues for the better prison management model.
Pre-trial detention seeks to ensure an effective investigation of a crime and it's thus a legitimate interest of a state governed by the rule of law. This legitimate interest has to balance against the consequences a detention prior to conviction entails for the person affected by it. Good Conduct Time Allowance, Republic Act 10592, or the Good Conduct Time Allowance Law, allows for a reduction of sentences of persons deprived of liberty depending on how well they abide by rules and regulations inside any penal institution, rehabilitation, or detention center, or any other local jail. This law, in relation to Republic Act 7659, or death penalty law.